Hi there, this is David, and it's been a minute since I've come to you to show you some game room updates. I have gotten quite a bit of things, and it is time to add them to those shelves in the background there. They are getting rather full, so let's just go over some stuff that I have gotten. There's quite a bit of things here. So, first things first. This is actually a cute little story right here. This is Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2 by Limited Run Games, along with the little collector's card right there. I have met so many great people on the Discord channel. I never thought, whenever I first started the Discord channel, I didn't even think that I would use it, you know? And then I've been using it, I've been loving it, and I've been meeting some fantastic people. And Travis, I met him on the Discord channel, and he was coming into town. He was coming into Las Vegas, and he was like, "Hey, David, do you want to meet up?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not?" And we met up, and we saw a show together, and he gave me this game. Apparently, he bought 14 copies of this game, and he was like, "Hey, I got extras, you know, you could have one." So I'm like, "Hey, you know, thank you so much." So thank you, Travis, for Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2 and the little limited run card for that. I love meeting people. It's so funny how the internet kind of makes the world smaller like that, and you can really and truly meet people like that. Also, I have a huge batch of games here. My retro game store that I go to quite often has these sidewalk sales where you can go and you can purchase all sorts of different stuff for $2.50 each. Now, a lot of it's kind of junky, a lot of it is Japanese, but it's $2.50, so who really cares? I picked up the Game Genie code book right here. This is for the Super Nintendo. I remember I had this as a child. If you look in the back, there's some handwritten codes back here from the previous owner. And I looked up a game that I think that we all know, which is Final Fantasy II. And I'm just going to read to you exactly what it says under the game description for Final Fantasy II. Exactly what it says, typos and all. Help Cecil and his main men on their quest in this long and involved role-playing game. The challenge level is high. The bosses especially beat the daylights out of you. So try Final Code 1 for infinite energy. Keep in mind that this code, as well as Code 4, can also make some monsters invincible, so you have to switch off effects to be able to beat them. For codes 2 and 3, what the game says at the end of a fight, you will get the correct amounts. Yeah, so we had English in our Game Genie codebook, even back when, but I just had to pick this up because I had this as a kid, and it just gives me fun memories to read through that. Another game that I had as a kid that I picked up, Deadly Towers. Don't ask me why, this game is absolutely terrible, but I remember actually playing it quite a bit as a child because there was nothing else to do. Some English games that I was able to purchase. Sim Earth. I remember my brother bought this game, and because he bought this game because he liked Sim City, and I was like, "Why are you buying this game?" And he was like, "Oh, I like Sim City," and I was like, "But it looks terrible in Nintendo Power," and he bought it anyway. So I'm like, believe me, it was pretty terrible. And then I saw this, and I just had to get it. It's John Madden Football 93. There's just a joke on the Discord server about me liking Madden. I don't know why they think that I like Madden. Don't. Actually, I can't even say that because I've never played Madden, but I imagine that it's terrible. Okay, some Japanese games that I was able to get. I got Romancing Saga, Romancing Saga 2, and, hey, Romancing Saga 3. So all three of the Romancing Saga trilogy for the Super Famicom, I got all of them, $2.50 each for these. I'm gonna have to create like a little cubby hole back there of just Japanese SNES games if I keep on picking these up. Speaking of Saga, I also got Saga 2 for the Game Boy. This game was released in America as Final Fantasy Legend 2, which I do own a copy of, and I'm actually playing through this on Twitch right now. Really good game, but I figured, you know, it's one of my favorite games of all time, might as well grab the Japanese version too. I also picked up a Japanese version of Breath of Fire for the Game Boy Advance. I saw that, let's see, there we go. I saw it, and I was like, oh, that's totally Breath of Fire. That's totally Breath of Fire. So I picked it up. Why not? I don't have English versions of those games any longer, so I might as well grab the Japanese versions. Some other games that I was able to grab. Lady Stalker. This is a Japan-only sequel to Landstalker, which was released on the Sega Genesis. I believe that there is a translation patch out for Lady Stalker, though. So if you want to look in ROM hacking, you can find that. Here we also have Fire Emblem. This is, I'm not really well versed in the whole Fire Emblem lore, but what I imagine that this is, it's a remake of Fire Emblem 1 in addition to like an extra added on story. So this is the third Fire Emblem game. And there's also a translation patch for this on romhacking.net as well. Dark Half, kind of a horror SNES game. It does have a translation patch. Also, I want to say it's isometric view, kind of like Shadowrun. So if you're into that sort of stuff, hey, have at it. Silva Saga 2. Something to note, Silva Saga 1 on the NES was the very first game that I ever wrote a guide for. Back in the day, before I had a channel or anything, I wrote guides on Game FAQs, and I wrote the guide for Silva Saga 1, and I did that right after the translation patch came out, and then Silva Saga 2 right here also has a translation patch as well. Moving right along, I found a game that I used to play all the time on the computer, SimCity 2000! Way back in the day, when we first got a computer, and we only had a couple of games for it. We had like Lemmings, Minesweeper. What was that game with like the orcs and the elves, or the orcs and the humans? Warcraft? I don't remember what that game was, but it was like you had to like create like a town or a fort or something, and then like kind of defend it from orcs or humans. I don't know what it was. Anyway, but there was also SimCity 2000, and me and my brother would play this constantly. Such a good game. Never had the SNES version, just the computer version. I bought yet another copy of Dragon Quest VI. So now I have two copies of Dragon Quest VI. Both of them are kind of like blued out. Like, I don't know what's going on here with this blue thing. I feel like it was like in the light or in the sun for way too long or something to make it look like that. Another one that I grabbed, Chrono Trigger. Yeah, there it is. But again, it kind of has that in the sun sort of thing going on with it. But man, Chrono Trigger. And finally, the last Japanese game that I was able to pick up, Final Fantasy V. And there's even some Japanese writing on the top of this game cartridge right there. So yeah, I was able to pick up Final Fantasy V, the Super Famicom version, one of my favorite Final Fantasy games of all time. Love this game. And now we even have some more boxes right here that I want to go through, and many of these were sent to me by fans of the channel and by some of my good friends on the Discord as well. This first one right here is from Group Math, and let's go ahead and open this one up and see what we have here. I am excited. It's like Christmas morning. And that actually fits because Gay Christmas was just the other day. It was Halloween. So, yeah, we're doing late gifts for Gay Christmas. What do we got here? Oh, this is the strategy guide for Final Fantasy 13. Hard cover, hard copy. I love strategy guides. I've talked about how much I love strategy guides. Oh, there's hot snow. Oh my god. Like, oh, I can't even stand it. Look at this, is like an encyclopedia. This is more of an encyclopedia than it is a strategy guide. This is great. I could read this thing cover to cover. Look at these maps. Look at these maps. Oh my god, Rashad, thank you so much for this. I will treasure that. Thank you so much. Oh. Now this next one is from Power Panda on the Discord channel as well. He was watching me unbox or go through my collection, and he noticed that I didn't have some certain things, and he was like, hey, I happen to have some things that you're missing. Do you want me to send them to you? And I'm like, sure, yeah, that would be great. Thank you. So let's see what we got here. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Let's see, is there anything else? This is just packaging to make it look all nice. Okay, so here's what we got going on here. We have a Final Fantasy Tactics Greatest Hits cover, and he didn't have the game. But the reason why he sent me this is because, let me show you. This is my Final Fantasy Tactics. It doesn't have the cover piece. So I want to kind of transpose my Final Fantasy Tactics into his Final Fantasy Tactics. So thank you so much, Parapanda. The same thing with Xenogears. He has the full case of Xenogears, and it has the instruction manual in there. All this great stuff. Look at that artwork of Faye, Ellie, Citan, and of Bart. So nice, so nice, so nice. And my Xenogears, just this. It's this, nothing even on the back. It's literally just the discs sitting here in a plain CD jewel case. So I can now transpose those into this, and I now have a perfect copy of Xenogears. Thank you again, Power Panda. Don't need to use this thing any longer. And the last thing, oh, this is Suikoden. He sent me the big Suikoden, the big nice Suikoden box, because my Suikoden, same thing. It doesn't have, it has the instruction manual. I wasn't able to get the this whenever I purchased Suikoden. Mine is just in a little tiny jewel case as well, so I'm going to have to dig through my cabinet back there and grab Suikoden to put it in this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is really helping to round out my my collection, Parapanda. Thank you so much. And now we have one last box right here. Let's see what we got going on here. If there's a good way to open this or not. There we go. There we go. This one is from my good friend on the Discord, and he also follows me on Twitch as well, Jeffrey Kaisworth. And I just want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to him as well. We have a wireless adapter for Windows 10 or Xbox, as well as a royal blue aqua controller for Xbox as well. The controller that I currently use to play computer games, Steam games, emulated games is basically just this. This is my controller. It's something that I bought for like, I don't know, $20-something over at Target or Walmart or something, and the R2 button is wonky, it doesn't work, sometimes buttons get stuck or whatever, and he was like, you need a new controller. And I'm like, I know. And then he just sent me one. So thank you, everyone. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much for people who sent me stuff. I am just thrilled, I am humbled, I am honored. Thank you so much, and everybody have a good day.